Welcome everyone. Happy Friday. I'm Sara and this is yoga. So we have reached the final chakra, our seventh chakra in our 7-part chakra series. So this is the color and the symbol for our 7th chakra. So you can see it's violet. Some sources I've read say that the color for the chakra is white. So I wore both violet and white just to kind of cover my bases. So the crown chakra, the Sanskrit is Sahasrara. The element is energy. The location is the top of the head, your crown. And it represents the underlying consciousness that is the basic operating principle of all the chakras. So it's the seat of enlightenment and the ultimate source of awakening related to the universal identity, which is oriented to self-knowledge. It allows us to surrender to something larger and wiser than ourselves. So this is the chakra where we kind of connect to the infinite, the divine, God, if you believe in that, something larger than ourselves. And so this is kind of where all the chakras kind of culminate and connect to something outside of ourselves. The demon of this chakra is attachment. And attachment keeps us from realizing the universal and the infinite. To become enlightened is to pierce through false meanings and realize the ultimate meaning of existence. So a few little mantras or affirmations to use with this chakra. I'm protected by the strength of my being. I'm at peace with myself, and I am balanced between earth and heaven. All right, so we are going to start with our a pranayama practice, which is called skull shining breath, or Kalabhati. It's also known as the breath of fire. We did the same breathing technique for our solar plexus chakra because it does involve kind of pumping the belly in and out, and it does create some fire in that part of the body. But it can also be used to stimulate our crown chakra. So I'm going to come back to my mat, and if it's available to you today, you can sit in a lotus or half lotus. Now, if you've got knee issues, just stay in a comfortable cross-legged seat, or you can extend your legs out in front of you. That's fine too. But if you can do a lotus or half lotus, we'll do the skull shining breath in that position. So I'm going to come to my mat. And you may notice today that my dresser is now further over that way. And that's because I need a little bit of extra wall space for something we're going to do later on. So to come into half lotus, which is what I'm going to do today, full lotus just really does not feel great for my knees. You're just going to pick up one foot and place it on your opposite thigh. Now, if you want to do full lotus, you would take the other foot and bring it above and place it on your other thigh. But it places a lot of torque and tension on that knee. And if you want to come into the mudra for this chakra, it's a very simple one. You're just going to bring your thumb and index fingers together. So you're making like a diamond shape with your hands, and the rest of the fingers are extended. And then bring the arms above the head. So if you want to do the mudra, you can. If you don't want to, you can rest your arms on your knees. And we'll just spend a few moments here to breathe. If your arms get tired, then please just release them back down. So the Kalabhati breath, or skull shining breath, is very forceful exhalations, and then the inhalation just kind of comes automatically. So we do them in rounds of 10. So you do 10 quick breaths, and then you take a couple of deep, regular breaths. And we'll do 3 rounds today. So take a few deep breaths before we begin. And we'll go ahead and begin. So just pump for 10. And then deep breath. Exhale. One more inhale. And again for 10. Deep inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And 10 more. And go ahead and release the hands down. Just take some few deep breaths here. Really think about elongating the spine, reaching the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. We'll go ahead and drop the chin down into the chest. Taking the right ear towards the right shoulder. Keeping both shoulders down. Releasing the chin back to the chest. And then taking the left ear towards the left shoulder. And then we'll move with the breath, exhaling the chin to the chest. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. So take a few more with your breath. And we'll take one more on each side. And returning to center, lifting the chin so it's level with the floor. Keeping shoulders and torso still, turning the head to look over the right shoulder. And releasing through center, looking over the left. And again, moving with your breath, inhaling through center, exhaling, alternating from side to side. Keeping shoulders and torso still, just turning the head. Holding on one side, dropping the chin down towards the shoulder that you're looking over. And then lifting the chin, coming through center, looking over the other shoulder. And again, dropping that chin. Lifting the chin, coming to center, bringing the hands behind the head and looking all the way up. And releasing, taking some shoulder circles first to the front. Let's take one more to the front, and then we'll circle those shoulders to the back. And we'll take one more. Placing the hands on the knees, and we'll circle the torso around to the hips. Inhaling as we bring the chest to the front, exhaling as we round the spine to the back. So just moving with your breath at your pace, inhaling and exhaling. We'll take one more in this direction. And then we'll pause, circling around in the opposite direction and inhaling to the front, exhaling to the back, moving with your breath. And we'll take one more. We'll make our way to all fours for some cat and cows. Ooh. So coming to all fours, bringing our wrists underneath our shoulders, our knees under hips, fingers spread wide. You can pad your knees if you need to. On the next inhale, dipping the belly down and looking up into cow. Exhaling, arching the spine, tucking the chin, the paws under into cat. So moving between cat and cow. Really making sure that we're taking the spine in each direction, one vertebra at a time, finishing with the crown of the head. So the crown of the head is the last piece. We start at the tailbone, make our way all the way up the spine, taking a few more. Let's take one more of each. And we'll come back to a neutral spine, moving into our spinal balance, inhaling, reaching the right arm and the left leg out. Exhaling as we release. And then left arm and right leg reach on the inhale. Exhaling as we release. So continuing to move with your breath at your pace, keeping the gaze down at the mat between the hands. So that head is in a nice neutral position. Crown of the head is shining straight forward. Let's take one more on each side. And when we're done, come back to all fours, and then we'll sit back into a child's pose. So any version of child's pose that you like, you can extend the arms out to the front. You can stack your hands or fist the rest of the forehead on them, or bring your hands back by your feet with your palms facing up. Knees can be together. You can separate them if you like. Remembering that as we move through our practice today, that this is your practice. So you need to do what's right for you and your body today. And that means skipping any poses that don't work for you or your body today, modifying anything that you need to, resting when you need to. Let's go into a full child's pose. So we're going to bring the hands back by the feet with the palms facing up. And then we're going to clasp our hands together behind the back. Lifting the hips up, rolling to the top of the head, coming into Yoga Mudra. Starting to move the hands away from the back. At the same time, lift your shoulders up away from your ears, creating space for the neck. And then we'll release back into that full child's pose. Hands are down by the feet. Shoulders release. Remembering you can always rest in child's pose if you need to. So either staying here a little while longer, or if you're ready, making your way into a downward facing dog. Planting the hands at the front of the mat, shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide. We'll come forward and tuck the toes, lifting the hips up and back. Coming into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So maybe making some movements here. You could pedal out your feet. You could shake your head out. You could take one leg into three-legged dog at a time. You could be perfectly still if that's what you prefer in your first downward dog. We'll eventually all find a place of stillness, tucking the chin, looking back between the legs. And then we'll look up at the hands and just walk the feet up to the hands. Coming into a forward fold, feet stay hip width apart. We'll soften knees, grab opposite elbows, and just let that upper body hang. So really let gravity pull your head down towards the earth, releasing any tension you might have in your neck or your shoulders, shaking the head out from side to side, taking it front to back, Swing the whole torso from side to side. Sometimes I like to visualize all my stress and tension just kind of draining out of the top of the head onto the mat, out of my life. And we'll come back to center, releasing the elbows, placing hands on shins or thighs, extending the spine, looking forward. On your next exhale, fold, softening the knees, inhaling, reverse one dive, come all the way up. Exhaling the hands to the heart. And we'll take a few deep breaths here. So we're going to move right into our sun salutations. I'm going to take off this layer because I know I'm going to be warm. So as with the other sun salutations for the other chakras, this one's a little bit different. As always, if you want to do your own favorite sun salutation in place of this one, be my guest. This one has a lot of like extra little bells and whistles, as long as I can remember all of them. We'll see. Okay, starting at the top of the mat. Let's inhale, reach the arms up, clasping the hands together, and then exhale, come into a standing back bend with the hands clasped. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Inhale, lift the heart halfway into monkey. Exhale, fold, stepping the right foot back. Stay on the toes or lower the knee. Inhale, open the arms out. Look up. Exhale, release. Step the left foot back for downward dog. And then we're going to lower the elbows to come into dolphin. Coming forward into a forearm plank. And then pressing back, downward dog. Or child's pose. Stepping that right foot up by the hands. Help it get there if it gets stuck. Stay on toes or lower the knee. Open the arms. Look up. Exhale, release. Take the left foot to the front. Inhale, lift the heart halfway, monkey. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up. Exhale the hands to the heart. And inhale it up. Clasping hands together, exhale, standing back bend. Inhale up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Inhale, straighten the legs, look forward, monkey. Exhale, fold, left foot to the back. Stay up on the toes or drop that knee. Open the arms. Inhale. Exhale, release. Right foot back. Downward dog. And then let's lower the elbows and come into dolphin. Sliding forward into a forearm plank. And then pressing back. Downward dog. Left foot steps up by the hands. Stay on the toes or lower the right knee. Open the arms. Look up. And release. Right foot to the front. Inhale, lift the heart halfway. Exhale, fold. Soften knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Come up. Exhale the hands to the heart. Do that one more time on each side. Inhale, reach it up, clasp the hands. Exhale, standing back bend, look up. Inhale, back up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Soft knees as you fold. Inhale, lift the heart halfway, monkey. Exhale, fold, right foot back. Stay on toes or drop the knee. Open the arms, inhale. Exhale, release, left foot back. Downward dog. And then we'll lower the elbows and come into dolphin. Coming forward, forearm plank. And we'll press back into downward dog. Right foot steps up by the hands. Stay on toes or lower your left knee. Inhale, open the arms, look up. Exhale, release, left foot to the front. Inhale, look forward, halfway, lift, monkey. Exhale, fold, soften knees. Inhale, reverse one dive, come up. Exhale, hands to the heart. All right, once more on the left. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold with soft knees. Oh, I forgot the back bend. Oh, well. Inhale, lift the heart halfway. Exhale, fold, left foot back. Stay on toes or drop the knee. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, release right foot back. Downward dog. Lower the elbows. Come into dolphin. Come forward, forearm plank. And then press back. Downward dog. Left foot steps up by the hands. Stay on toes or drop your right knee. Open the arms. Look up. Exhale, release right foot to the front. Inhale, lift the heart halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Let's get that back bend in. Clasp hands. Exhale, open the arm. Open the heart. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to the heart. And take a few deep breaths here. Open mouth exhales if you need them. You do an audible sigh. No one can hear you. Let it go. Let's inhale it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. We're going to step the right foot back, turning that foot out 45 degrees, dropping the heel. We're going to come up to warrior one with eagle arms. So if you want to do that, a little hip adjustment, you can use your right hand, gently guide your right hip forward, tailbone releases down. And then we're going to take the arms out, taking the right arm underneath the left and wrapping our forearms together, bringing the hands to the middle of the face, thumbs to nose. Now, if you cannot wrap your forearms together, your alternative is to keep the arms straight and just press the backs of the hands together. You'll get a similar sensation in the upper back. Okay. And then we're going to move into warrior two. So spinning the back foot out and then opening the arms out as well. Virabhadrasana. Watch your left knee. Make sure it's pointing towards the front of your mat, not towards the corner of it. Relaxing the shoulders down. Breathing here. And then we're going to straighten out the left leg. We're going to bring our right hand down our right leg and reach the left arm up. So we're coming into a reverse triangle. So similar to reverse warrior, except the legs are straight. Both legs are straight this time. And then we'll bring the arms out so they're parallel to the floor. Turning this left foot in, releasing the hands to the hips. So feet are parallel to each other in the short ends of the mat. You could also go a little bit pigeon-toed if you like. Let's inhale, extend the spine looking up. Exhaling as we fold. Releasing the hands to the mat. You can bend your knees if you need to. You can widen your feet. Let's walk the hands out a little bit off the side of the mat. Lengthening the spine a little bit more, bringing the weight forward in the feet. On your next exhale, deepen the fold. Maybe walk your hands back. Maybe bring the top of your head to a block or the mat if you can. Don't worry about it if you can't. And we'll release. Lift the head up. Take a couple deep breaths here. Looking forward. And bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, come all the way up. If you get a little lightheaded when you come up, you can bend your knees and tuck the chin into the chest for a breath or two. And lift the head and straighten the legs when you feel better. And then we'll just turn towards the front of the mat, step the back foot up to the front, and we'll meet at the top of the mat in Sadasana mountain pose. We'll do the other side, so let's inhale to reach it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. This time the left foot steps back. Turning that foot out 45 degrees, dropping the heel, keeping that right knee bent. Warrior one, eagle arms. So if you want to adjust your hips first, left hand gently guides this left hip forward. Tailbone releases down. Let's open the arms out. And then we'll bring the left arm on top of the right. Again, you can either just press the backs of the hands together, or if you're able, wrap your forearms together. Thumbs to nose. And let's turn to the side. Spinning that back foot out up to 90 degrees and then opening the arms. Virabhadrasana to be warrior two. Check the position of your right knee. Let's straighten out that right leg. Reach the right arm up as the left arm reaches down the left leg. Reverse triangle. And let's bring those arms back out. Bring the hands to the hips, and then we'll turn this right foot in so it's parallel with the short end of the mat, or you can go a little bit pigeon-toed if you want, with the toes turned in slightly. Inhaling as we lengthen the spine, looking up, exhaling as we fold, releasing the hands to the mat. Again, you can bend your knees. You can widen your feet. Let's walk those hands out a little bit, bring the weight forward in the feet. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, deepen the fold. Maybe walk your hands back. Maybe bring the crown of the head to the mat or to a block if you have one. And then let's walk the hands back out and lift the head looking forward. Take a few deep breaths here. And then we'll bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, come all the way up, softening the knees and tucking the chin into the chest for a breath or two, and then lifting the head and straightening the legs. Turning towards the front of the mat, stepping the back foot to the front. And meeting at the top of the mat in Sadasana mountain pose. So we're going to do Vrikshasana or tree pose for our standing balance. So if you want to step off of your mat or move closer to a wall, be my guest. I'm just going to stay on my mat because it's all carpeted, so it doesn't really matter where I am in my room. It's going to be a little bit more challenging than on a harder surface. So we'll start by bringing our feet hips width apart and parallel. Toes are spread and relaxed. We want to find a drishti, a focal point, so looking at a spot on the floor or on the wall, something that does not move. Bringing hands to the heart, and then shifting the weight onto our right foot and taking our left heel up to the side of that right ankle. Keeping that right knee a little bit soft. And so staying here or sliding that foot up to the side of the shin or picking that foot up and placing it in the inner thigh. Please do not put it on your knee. It needs to be above or below the knee. Hands can stay at the heart, or if you want, grow your branches, reaching the arms up and out. So thinking about reaching up through the crown of the head here. Feeling that energy from the infinite coming in through your crown chakra. And we'll release the hands back to the heart if we raise them. And then release that left foot. Roll out your right ankle. Reset your feet. Bring the hands to Anjali Mudra at the heart. Finding your drishti, engaging Mula Bandha, lifting the pelvic floor. Uddiyana Bandha, drawing the abdominals in. Jalandhara Bandha, the chin slides in towards the throat. Shifting the weight onto the left leg. Take the right heel up to the side of the ankle. Soften your left knee. Stay there or slide that foot up to the side of the shin, or pick the foot up and place it in the inner thigh, keeping the hips stable. Hands can stay at the heart, or we can grow some branches, reaching the arms up, maybe taking them out, relaxing the shoulders. We could do that mudra again here. Thumb and forefingers meet overhead. Releasing the hands to the heart, releasing that right foot, and rolling out the left ankle. And then we'll make our way back to the top of the mat. Inhaling, reaching the arms up. Exhaling as we swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Stepping the feet back one at a time. Coming into downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Stay there, bend the knee and twist, reaching that knee up toward the ceiling, opening up the hips. Releasing that twist, bringing the right knee to the right wrist, coming into pigeon, Kalabhati. Sliding that left leg back. So making sure that the hips stay level, taking a figure four on your back if this bothers your knees, and then folding when you're ready. If you can, bring the top of your head down to the mat, or your block, or your hands. And we'll release, coming in. Planting the hands at the front of the mat, tucking the left toes under, lifting those hips up and back. Coming into downward dog. Left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Stay there, bend the knee and twist, reaching that knee up toward the ceiling, opening up the hips. Releasing that twist, left knee comes to left wrist. Coming into pigeon on the other side. Again, make any adjustments you need to. Take the variation on your back. Fold when you're ready. Maybe releasing the top of the head to the mat. And we'll release, coming up. Come back into downward dog one more time. So tuck that right toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward dog, and then drop the knees. And we're going to come into hero's pose. Okay, so we're sitting on our heels. Now, I know for a lot of people, if you've got knee issues, this is not a great pose for you to do today. You can go ahead and extend your legs out in front of you into staff pose if you prefer. Okay, if you're staying in hero's pose, you can stay here sitting on your heels. If you want to, you can come up, separate your feet out to about the width of the mat, and then take your thumbs and kind of roll the flesh of your calves out to the sides, and then you can actually sit down in between your feet. Again, this puts a lot of pressure on the knees. And then you might even want to recline this pose. So maybe bringing the hands behind you, maybe lowering down to the elbows, maybe lying all the way down onto the back. And then we'll release. And let's all make our way into Dandasana. So swing those legs around in front of you, extend the legs out, maybe give them a little shimmy shake out, bounce them out. All right, so sitting up nice and tall, maybe moving some of the flesh out from underneath your sit bones, or you can sit on a blanket. Let's inhale and lengthen the spine, reaching the arms up. Exhaling as we fold, hinging from the hips. So reaching for your feet, using a strap to extend your reach, or grabbing anywhere along your legs, your shins, your calves, under your thighs. Let's inhale and lengthen the spine a little bit more. Exhaling as we deepen our fold, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And we'll release. If you're using a strap today, you can leave it wrapped around the bottom of your left foot. Take your right foot out and bend that right knee, letting that knee open out to the right side for Janushrishasana. You can prop underneath the knee if you like. Placing one hand on either side of the left leg, turning the chest to face the leg, inhaling as we lengthen, exhaling as we fold, reaching for your foot or strap or anywhere along the leg, maybe taking a cross grip with your hands if you want. And we'll release, coming up. Bringing that right knee up, stepping that foot up and over to the outside of the left thigh. Left leg can stay straight, or you can bend it underneath you and sit back down, hugging the knee with the left arm. The right arm comes behind us and we twist. So you can stay hugging your knee in. You can bring your elbow past your knee, or if you want, you can reach through the legs with the left arm, come behind the back with the right, and bind your pose. And we'll release. Extending the right leg out, bending the left knee and letting that knee open out to the left side. Again, maybe propping underneath the knee, maybe setting up a strap around the bottom of the right foot, placing one hand on either side of the right leg, turning the chest to face the leg, inhaling as we lengthen, exhaling as we fold, reaching for the foot or strap or anywhere along the leg, maybe taking that cross grip with your hands again if you want to. Centering that chest over the right leg as best you can. And we'll release, coming up. Bringing that left knee up, stepping that foot up and over, leaving your right leg straight or bending it underneath you, hugging the knee with the right arm. The left arm comes behind us for that twist. So again, you can stay hugging your knee. You can bring your elbow past your knee, or you can reach for the legs with the right arm, come behind the back with the left, and bind. And release. All right, so we have come to the part of our practice that some of you may be dreading, some of you may be excited about. So it's inversion time. So crown chakra, the inversion for this chakra is a headstand. So I'm going to kind of teach you how to do a headstand, hopefully safely in your own home. However, I will say, if you don't want to do a headstand, you don't feel comfortable, please do not attempt it, okay? You can take literally any other inversion you want to. If you have a block, you can do that supported bridge or waterfall. You can do legs up the wall, which is wonderful. There's some headstand prep poses that you can use as well that you can start to work on getting into headstand. I am going to use my wall, which is why I moved my dresser over, so I had a little bit more space side to side, because where it was centered, there wasn't a whole lot of space, and I wanted a little bit more room just in case. So I highly, highly recommend, if you're going to try this at home, that you do it up against a wall for safety reasons. Okay, so now that I got my disclaimer out of the way, we're going to move to the wall. There's a couple of different ways you can do your headstand. Let me just move my mat. I'd rather be on my mat than my carpet here. So there is the tripod version, which is where you're balancing on your hands and the top of your head, which I find more stable. And it's actually easier for me to get into that version. And I can actually do that one freestanding, although I'm not going to do that one freestanding today. It does place more pressure on your head though. The other version is kind of a forearm version. So your hands are kind of locked together like this, and your head goes in between your arms like that. Okay, so we'll start with the tripod version, since that's the version I can do a little bit more easily. So we're going to be facing our wall. We're going to place our hands down, I would say maybe about 18 inches away from the wall, maybe a foot, depending, because you need space for your head. Your head is going to come down fairly close to the wall, but you don't want to be right up against the wall. You want to have a little bit of room. And then we're going to come up onto the toes and then bring the knees onto the elbows and pick the feet up one at a time. So if you want to just kind of hang out in this little tripod, if you're not ready to fully invert, you can hang out here. If you're ready to fully invert, then using your core, you're going to take the legs straight up, and I'm just going to touch the wall with my foot so I know where it is, and then rest my heels on the wall. And then you can start to play with your balance. And this one is easier for me to balance as well, because I can use my hands. So now I'm not touching the wall at all. All right, and then release. Your counter pose is child's pose. All right, so for the other version, and if you like the tripod version, you want to still practice that one, be my guest. For the other version, which for me winds up being more of a forearm balance, you're going to bring your elbows down right underneath your shoulders, clasping your elbows with your hands, and that lines them up so they're about shoulder width apart. And then you're just going to clasp your hands together, keeping your elbows where they are. And then you're going to bring the top of your head down so that your hands kind of cradle the back of your head. And then we're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips up, and then start to walk the feet in, and then take your legs up. Let me straighten myself out here. I can actually see myself. And then you can start to work on the balance. This one is a lot harder for me to balance. And then we'll go ahead and release. Resting in our child's pose. if you're in some other inversion, start to make your way out of that. I'm going to put my mat back. Do a few more little stretches before we come into Shavasana. So let's come onto the back, hug the knees into the chest. Rocking from side to side. Circling those knees around. And taking them around in the opposite direction. And coming to center, hugging the right knee in, releasing your left leg, give that right knee a squeeze. Extending that right leg up toward the ceiling, point and flex the foot a few times. And circle it, first in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using a strap, pulling that right leg in for a hamstring stretch. Your left leg may be bent or straight. Extending that right leg out towards the right side. Keeping your left side anchored to the mat, maybe by placing your left hand on your hip or just activating the muscles in that left leg to make that side of your body heavy. And then taking that right leg up and across the body over to the left, extending that right arm out to a T, keeping your right shoulder on the mat, maybe looking down that right arm. And releasing, bringing that right leg back up, bending both knees, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, making a figure four, reaching your right arm through, and pulling on your left leg. Lining that left knee up with your left shoulder. Releasing the right foot, hugging the left knee in, give it a squeeze. Extending that left leg up, point and flex the foot. And circle it first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using a strap, pulling that left leg in for a hamstring stretch. Your right leg may be bent or straight. Extending that left leg out towards the left side, keeping your right side anchored. And taking that left leg up and across the body over to the right, extending that left arm out to a T, keeping your left shoulder on the mat, maybe looking down that left arm. And release, bring that left leg up, bending both knees, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, making that figure four, reaching your left arm through and pulling on the right leg, lining that right knee up with the right shoulder. And release, hugging the knees into the chest, extending arms out to a T, either dropping both knees to your right or maybe crossing your left leg over your right thigh first, and then taking the knees to the right. Keeping both shoulders on the mat, maybe looking down that left arm. And we'll release and switch sides. So if you cross legs one way, cross them the other way. We'll all take the knees to the left. And release. Uncrossing the legs if they're crossed, hugging the knees into the chest, bringing the forehead up to meet the knees, squeezing everything in nice and tight. And then releasing it all down. So preparing for Shavasana, a final relaxation. So if you want to put any layers on at this time, your socks, sweatshirts, if you want to grab a blanket and cover up with your blanket, if you want to make your space darker by dimming the lights or grabbing an eye pillow and using that to block out the light. I'm going to put my shirt back on. And then once you're all kind of situated, come into any comfortable position you'd like to take for your meditation today. So you could be lying down or you could be seated, whatever works best for you. I'm going to read a guided meditation that's specific for the crown chakra. Take a long, deep breath. As you exhale, move your attention to the top of your head and imagine a violet light. The violet glow of the chakra illuminates your mind and the rest of your body. Imagine a big white lotus flower with its petals closed in the same place as your crown chakra. Look at the lotus and contemplate its shape, color, and texture. As you pay attention, the lotus slowly starts to rotate along with the chakra. One by one, the petals of the lotus start to open. As the first layer flowers, you see infinite rows of more petals still to open. With every new petal opening, the lotus starts spinning faster. You realize that every such opening leads to yet another layer of closed petals. The blooming of the lotus is an ongoing process of infinite stages. Now see your seventh chakra spinning with equal strength. The chakra's violet light washes over your entire body. Breathe deeply and feel the energy from your crown chakra connecting to you to the sky above and to the earth below and to everything in between, so you become one with existence. Rest in this awareness. And we'll start to wiggle fingers and toes. Circling ankles and wrists. And reaching the arms up overhead, just stretch. And release. And either rolling to one side or hugging the knees into the chest. Taking a few deep breaths as you prepare to come up to seated. And when you're ready, make your way into any comfortable seat you choose to finish your practice today. Sitting up nice and tall and dropping the chin to the chest. Taking the right ear towards the right shoulder. And left ear to left shoulder. Bringing the head up, taking the hands behind the head, looking all the way up. And release. Taking 3 deep breaths, inhaling arms up. And exhaling them down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. One more time, inhaling it up. Bringing the hands together at heart center as we exhale. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.